Alright guys, here we're talking about iZombie Season 4, Episode 8!
What's up?
I don't know.
I take back everything I said in like the last video about like the show being interesting and doing like dumb stuff that I enjoyed or something like that.
Okay, what was the breaking point for you?
Well, so like the last episode ends with like there's no one breaking point. Just
I'm assuming there are many straws that stabbed you in the eyes and then the camel just fell over.
It systematically broke me down.
Good.
No, so Peyton's totally down with the whole plan, but they do it all off camera. It's like the next day. It's like the sloppiest thing ever. You literally had everything set up to film that scene, and it's one of those things that we always complain about, where like characters like travel for days and then are like about to get there, and they go, "You never told me about your father," or whatever. And like, what? Yeah. It's been day. And so this is like the next morning, and she's like, "Well, I don't know. I just think it's the right thing to do." And I'm like, did you not talk about this over the last 12 hours? What are you talking about? It's so awful.
I love when it's like, you got a lot to explain to do, John. Fade to black, come back, they're working on something. Yeah. And it's like, did he explain it? Did he not? It doesn't seem like he did.
Yeah, and like, how did she convince her? Was it difficult? It seems like they hadn't talked about it until then. It seems like she was like, "Mom, get out of my room!" And then like the next day, they had the whole conversation. And again, I don't expect a lot from this show, but I hate that. And
they have set up a lot that would make me believe Peyton would be on board, but I would like to have seen something, because like the whole bus driver thing. Yeah. And, like I think she's already been weakened and brought down to the fact that she's like, okay, we got to help people.
She found the dog. She doesn't like the tactics that Fillmore Graves is doing and all that
but
stuff.
Then I could see the other side where she wouldn't be on board at all, because she's firsthand seen people are starving. There's not enough brains. And can we bring more brains in? That seems dumb.
And it's dangerous, and it's whatever, and this is a complicated thing. And we just were like, she's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna go do something," and whatever, right?
And how lazy is that? Like, oh, I know there's a guy who's in jail, Stacy Boss's man. I'm sure he could get me money immediately. I
was going to say, so we can just talk about that whole thing, right, where she ends up showing up, and they're like, "Who's the new person? You can't just do this." And I'm like, she's already in the room. Like, what's happening? How'd she get in there? What's going on? Yeah. Whatever. Forget about it. The show's fine. And then it's like, and then she's like, "I come bearing gifts," and has this fucking sack of money. And now that's like, okay, she's all right. It's fine, or whatever. That's like the entire, right? She like,
any police officer with evidence for money could bust you like that just by showing you a little cash. They're not a very good organization.
We're going to
We've kind of known that this whole time, where without actually having Renegade, they seem to be just this ragtag group of morons.
Yeah, and like she can't replace Renegade, and they start off by like lampshading that. She did more than just scratch people. She was like it, and lives like, I'm gonna be it, or whatever. And that's her. This is her way of being it, is having friends that can get dirty money from like a thing or whatever.
Something has to change. I can't stand the idea of another season of this Renegade stuff. Yeah, there must be either the walls come down, or a cure is found, or war gets made on Seattle. Something has to change this.
The show has gone so far and so deep that it makes me wonder so much, right? And again, like they keep reminding us of things, right? Of like Stacy, right?
She's gonna get caught. Probably is the season finale.
Okay.
She probably gets caught. I think it would be a great thing if they had like, she's caught, but it's like they don't want people to know it's been happening, so like they don't actually publicly charge her, and they kill in front of her all the people she's turned.
Okay.
And then freeze her or something, and that's how the season ends. Like, we gotta get Liv out of the freezer, and then Major goes rogue,
and then Robbie's got a sword and eye patch, and Cloud's like, "I'm a zombie now too," and comes down, and everyone's doing their stuff.
But that's all in somehow you don't know that happens until he gets shot, and they're like,
and somehow someone turns into the Hulk, and then someone's got a bow and arrow, and it's just it's awesome.
iZombie Avengers.
It's perfect. It's just do it real quick. I'm just going to do it out of context. Robbie has a sword in this episode, and he twirls it like he's had a few years of stage, whatever. I'm like, yeah, do it. It's working.
They're setting up everything we ever wanted.
It's working. Just do it. Just make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of all that Stacy and stuff, Stacy comes back, Blaine's dad, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
We get a whole through line here where like Blaine's dad is like, my flock needs food. He makes them use a fork, right?
Yeah. And like that, they're trained dogs. Yeah.
And then that comes back later. They do like a vaguely funny thing where he has to be like, I had a vision from God or something like that.
Yeah.
But then Stacy has to ruin it and be like, oh yeah, God told me too. That's why I answered. And it just makes it so much. It takes what could have been okay and just ruins it completely.
Well, it was so hammy to begin with that it can never be okay. I do like Stacy Boss's character.
Yeah. Good.
I don't know if he did anything for me this episode, but in general, in the past, I've enjoyed what he brings to the table.
Yeah, but this again, like, so I mentioned it before, the show is like reminding me of what happened in the past. You're piling together all these other elements.
Yeah.
And I go, oh yeah, remember when Stacy like kills Blaine and Blaine's like, wait a minute, I was a zombie, and like it comes back, and all this stuff happens. They have all this history or whatever.
Yeah.
And here he just pops out of one of those brain
and
crates.
like, what is this?
What's
People
happening?
keep popping out of that thing. Like,
That's like
it's the channel to come through.
Yeah, that's like the device now. Is like people smuggle in, within brain shipments somehow or something.
But
like that.
so let's just let's take this for a second.
Walk it down.
There are brain shipments that are illegal, and people are smuggling inside of those things. So in any way, if they were looking at deliveries, which you'd think they would have
to inspect
be controlling their deliveries. I guess Blaine is probably paying people off the same way he's paying off anybody else. But if you can just pay people off, couldn't you just walk in the front door? Like, why do you need to be in a big box of ice?
People pop out of those things ostensibly as a surprise to some or all of the people in the room.
Yes.
It isn't like this is like expected. They don't immediately pry it open and say, special delivery today, boys. We got this person or whatever. It's not like a thing. It's just like, hello. It's so dumb. And I liked it when it was, like French Girl or whatever, because I thought like, oh, that's this, like Bugs Bunny tunneling under the thing and popping out of like Major and Donnie's little trip. That's like just for this. We're just doing it now. But they do it again here.
It'll be used every episode.
And it makes the earlier ones worse. And I hate this one. So it's just like, what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And would Stacy do that? Would that be his like thing? Nah, put me with all the brains and ice. That's how I prefer to travel, right? No, he would be like, I don't know. I actually forget his character enough.
You almost picture he'd be popping out of a box that would have like a smoking jacket and a chair and like a little TV and a fake fireplace. Like it's fully kitted because he's rich.
The perfect thing. I travel in style, Blaine. And it's like, that's not even possible. He's like,
he was, we can assume, outside of Seattle and smuggled in with these brains.
Yeah.
So he was outside of this area, and he came in to get this small bag of money that, like, you'd think he has other...
It probably costs more money to get in there to get this money than he's getting. It's $200,000, right?
Yeah, $200,000.
That's not a lot of money.
You'd think he's a millionaire.
Yeah, he has to be a millionaire.
In order to be what he is, you'd think so. And are we to believe he had nothing, like, in offshore accounts and like is he broke? Is that why he wants this money back? Like, what is the point here?
And he's a zombie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a zombie outside of the walls, living safely and like undetected. So he goes into Seattle for
like
this
a
overall
moron.
plot contrivance. I know.
And I wonder if the news is being controlled. Do people in Seattle see the same thing that people outside of Seattle see? Like, are they talking
is it like between?
Yeah. Are they talking about like, well, all right, we might have to nuke Seattle. Rising suspicions that people could be outside the wall. We have to take care of this. Like, he would know whatever it was.
Right.
It seems very, very fake that he would ever come back.
Unless they explain it right. He should say, "I'm going to pay myself $200,000 to not get nuked or guillotine, head squashed. That's my plan. Peace." And just do his thing or whatever. I know. Okay. I do like the guy though. And,
he's a good actor. He's a fun character. I like that he's a short guy that's like tough.
And I like the scene. So like when the flock intercepts the prisoner transport, and you just get all the dudes just watching and commenting on what's happening.
I hated that scene.
I like that scene.
I hated that scene because it's like, okay, there's someone in the road. You are in a vehicle.
No, that
you are police.
The ambush sucks, but I liked that they were standing nearby wearing coats.
Oh
and
yeah,
being
yeah.
Like,
No, that was.
What
fine.
do you think? This? No, that. I don't know.
But
Later?
just think logically. If you know nothing about the criminal justice system, if you know nothing about police, nothing about transports, nothing about anything, if there's somebody in the road, right?
Yeah.
A, you're gonna like reverse if you're just driving. And B, you're going to be calling in backup immediately. You're going to be like, hey, we're transporting people. Well, that's not. We have people on the road. Trouble, trouble, trouble.
No, and like they had to play it off as if they thought, oh, it's these crazies again. Hold on. And like they had a, like, this was normal or something like that. Oh, they're protesting or something. They'd have to play something off.
Even if it was, you would still call it in immediately.
Yeah, but it seemed like they knew that like it was an ambush, but that was their response, which totally ruins the whole
very
thing, right?
lame. And knowing, because you can look at them, they're clearly zombies. You think there'd be zero thoughts about just driving over them. Like, they're trying to get us, run them over.
Yeah, because it's like human
justified zombie murder. You'd think that in a place where there's too many zombies anyway, you'd be like, how can we kill more?
Yeah. They're like, whatever. No, you would think like, intercom, like clear the streets. You're in violation of the, zombie interference.
Well, they're in violence of the curfew too.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You would like think that would be the angle, and they'd be overwhelmed and like stopped somehow. But no, they opened the door, I think, or they do something horrible.
They tipped them over.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like they have guns inside. Like this is how we'll solve this problem or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they solved nothing at all. And it didn't seem like there were any instructions given to the flock about saving that one guy.
No, and
but he did get out, and they have him.
And well, but yeah, when they bring they're just eating people, and they're peanut galleries commenting and all that stuff, and then they bring over the right guy, and I'm like, how do they have the capacity to do that? And all that stuff. And the whole time, too, idea. I guess you were like me, being like, how do they know not to kill the guy you care about? What's going on? Yeah.
But they didn't kill him. They brought him over there. He gives up his information, but that doesn't stop. You got to make sure it's true. So Blaine eats his brain.
I kind of liked that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It did make me wonder, though, like, we're pretty sure that Stacy is a zombie. Why wouldn't Stacy eat the brain himself? You'd think he'd want the extra meal and to be firsthand knowledgeable. Why let Blaine, who's not been the most honest person in the first place,
be
the guy who gives you the information?
They have what I would call an uneasy relationship.
Sure. Well, and when you opened the locker and it wasn't there, could Blaine not have called somebody on the way over, sent a text, hey, locker 235, it has money in it, go get it?
They're just going to ignore that, I'm sure.
I guess.
This is meant to be taken at some sort of face value. I can't imagine them tracking down the money, though. Are they going to be looking at camera footage and seeing Peyton or something?
Oh,
how are they going to even know
who visited the prison?
Where the plot
One person visited him. Oh, it was Peyton. Probably Peyton, then.
Yeah.
Seems obvious to me. I thought that's how he even came about this. Usually it's like, Peyton's asking about my money. I got to come get it first.
Right.
But no, seemingly not.
All right. So that's not great. We're harping on
the show. The show falls apart.
Sure. Let's talk about the main thing.
Sure. What do you got?
Whatever actress plays Liv has firmly decided, F this show.
I'm gonna be regular forever.
I'm gonna be regular as much as possible, almost forever. B, I'm going to be taking more and more outlandish things that I can put on my CV. Look at all these accents I can do. Look at all this different stuff that I can do. I can be serious. I can be comedic. Look at this, right? I want you to cast me in some King Arthur movie or something like that. I want you to cast me in some heist movie or whatever, right? I just want to be able to do all these different things. I think that has to be what's happening. Or it's like a negotiated thing where she's like, I will keep doing this, but you must make it more and more interesting and crazy. I want a big hat. I want a big dumb hat.
This time, so she plays like a King Arthur type.
Yeah.
And this one more than ever annoyed me with the making of the food, because I'm like, you haven't eaten the brain yet, and for I would imagine you can't just keep taking if you can take 100% of the brain. Like, why don't you do that every time? So there's always food. You can give that to the needy. Like, that could be your thing. But so she's always just taking little bits, sprinkling them on things, putting them in things, whatever. This time she takes the whole brain, shoves an apple in it like it's a pig's mouth, and cooks it like rotisserie style.
That was, yeah.
And
okay.
It's so ridiculous. The amount of food she makes the grand feast, and we've known for some time that the food is always dictated by what the brain is going to be.
Yeah.
And this time, of course, you could tell what the brain was going to be because the guy was in a knight's fucking armor.
Sure.
But oftentimes they're not. It's like, that's a person. Oh, they were a blah, blah. But you don't know what their personality was. You might know their job. Like, it was a librarian. But that librarian isn't a librarian 24 hours a day.
Oh,
Same thing with this person.
And then she puts the brain in like a book and boils the book. Yeah.
Yeah, this person is a cosplayer, but I'm sure they have a regular job and don't talk in British like classical accent the whole time.
And you would think they could stop if they needed to and all this other stuff. I know. They really had to pick a thing that brains should do to people and stick to it.
Anything would have been better than what they picked.
Or an excuse for why it does this.
If she slipped into an accent every now and then while being cheeky, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of fun.
At the end of the day, this is obviously for entertainment purposes only. And
it's a comedy, crime, action, drama.
We do understand that, right? But when it's like plot points that she can't talk normally or that she can't stop being weird or whatever, but then she can sometimes, and then the brain, that brain wore off. But then wait, how long does it take? And how much brain do you need to reset the personality? And how come Blaine can eat the brain of the criminal guy that hates Stacy Boss? And then has a vision, but then cooperates with him fully, right?
Yeah.
But Liv can't sample this brain, and literally is unable to stop talking like that. When
and people at the bar seem to be just they eat it and it's gone the next day.
Having fun and stuff like that.
We didn't have a week of Major being a wrestler, or he wasn't even a cowboy the rest of the episode, I don't think.
Yeah.
So what is the actual rules? Because back in the day, wasn't it the blue-soaked brains are
the blue brains are potent and stuff.
And none of these are blue. They're just regular brains.
Right.
So I don't like it. Liv's brain things last far too long, and they're too
And
like taking over.
Right. We would like it, I think, if she had to like say like, well, I'm hey, we haven't finished the investigation, and so and I'm almost out of that brain.
Yeah, that would be a nice thing.
Right.
Like Spider-Man's webbing. Like oh no, I ran out at the right time.
Or like really early on, she had like commando brain, and it's like you put some of that in the freezer and then use it in like the season finale,
and she totally could have, but didn't.
Exactly.
There should be like Dexter keeping blood. Yes. There should be a bunch of little bits of brain that she has like in a utility belt for like, oh no, I need to be a cat burglar. All right, got it.
Yeah, no, and like I feel like if I were writing the show, that would have been like a like season's arc, that she's almost like addicted to like different brains and is trying to like mix them and use them all for the right thing, and she's too focused on like always being in like the right enhanced mindset for all of her life's problems, and it's like causing friction and like issues because she's always different personalities.
But you know why they wouldn't do that? Because that could be good.
That's because that has a chance of being interesting. Yeah, I know. So again, though, like this is the conceit of the show. It's like Michael Weston. She has a different personality every time, and this time, right, it's the medieval thing.
Yeah. We
are subjected to scene after scene after scene of her doing this on the morrow and verily and all these different things. The accent was like fine, but
yeah, no, it was probably as good as the guy she took it from, but that doesn't doesn't mean anything for me. Like if you're gonna be doing weird things with the brains, weird like janky things with the people that she's taking over, and the plot switches over into this renegade arc.
Yeah,
I think that's 3 strikes for me.
3 strikes, you're out. We had Zombie Thunderdome though.
Yeah, and what is that
so like.
even?
I said a long time ago that Major could never pretend to be a human amongst a bunch of zombies.
Yeah.
Right? Because zombies, like, just normal human men with, like, testosterone are fucking with each other and, like, hurting each other in, like, minor ways. If you could get stabbed and it would be fine, like in that scene from Aliens where he's doing, like, the knife thing over the hand, zombies would be, like, pranking each other all the time in ways that would get you, like, stabbed and, like, messed up and all that stuff. So, like, I liked the concept of like, oh, I heard that zombie LARPers can use real weapons, and I was like, okay. And then once everything's happening, the stupid Thunderdome thing with like the pro wrestling angle and the horrible stuff and just everything happening.
Even if you think about this, like
the Fight Club, whatever.
Are people going to be chopping arms off and bullshit? Like if you chop their head off, like that's just unsportsmanlike.
Yes.
And that's what things would happen.
And
people
do arms grow
swing
back?
wildly. I picture it being
happens?
like you sucking it back in and it heals itself on.
I wish they would address that. Yes, that would be awesome.
I'm sure they will eventually.
I hope so. Because they can't have people missing limbs or something like that.
No, and that would be my thing, especially if they don't grow. If they obviously don't grow back, but if they can't be reattached. Is anything worth that? Oh, I wanted to be a level 6 whatever. Oh no, my arms.
Yep. No, I know. But it just like, for me, it was that window into that thing where I was like, yes, that is what people would say. They'd go, oh, we don't have to wear helmets because we're zombies, which makes no sense. But yes, they would say that.
I would wear an extra helmet.
Be like, I'm fine, right? If like your only vulnerable part was your head, you would wear like a welder's mask.
But what's funny is we have a vulnerable part of our head right now, and we don't wear helmets all the time. But like, why would I do it then?
I think that people would feel like, well, I am a zombie now. It does suck, but it has certain advantages, and I'm going to apply that and use it in my life, right? I used to do this, but now I can just do that because it doesn't matter because I'm a zombie. I can handle it.
Sure.
Yeah, oh, cool.
I can tame bears now because fuck you, bear.
Be a bear tamer. He doesn't even want to eat me. I smell dead. It's awesome. So the ending, right? There's a few funny things here and there about like funny stuff with the guys breaking character or staying in character, and ended up being a love triangle, and it ended up mirroring Clive and Bozio's own Bozio, whatever, mirroring their own struggles with their relationship and all that stuff. So I guess that's a thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
this thing's still happening.
People
cheating on people.
I would like to see the one whose husband went to jail. And the redhead girl and Bozio. Did that really work? Wanna?
Yeah, which one's human though?
She was human.
The guy is human. Yeah, no. The guy's a zombie and she's human.
Yeah.
Okay, so they would talk opposite wise. I guess she's innocent in the whole thing. She was just boinking the dude.
But like, so here's the flip side: is like she had to know he was human, because she was having sex with him.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's like somewhat convoluted. I kind of like, it's the old, story arc of like someone dies on stage in front of like a million witnesses, and there's a plausible thing of like, well, it's supposed to be a fake gun, and then it turns out someone else switched to the guns to like get him shot or whatever. Only here it was just literally that guy just stabbing that guy because he didn't like that guy, and people knew it.
But what I mean is like. The wife is like well he didn't it was an accident, he didn't know he was a blah blah, and then and believed it, and then it was like, oh, it was an accident, a broadsword shouldn't even be able that wasn't his normal sword, and then found out.
Dun, dun, dun.
All those things, you believed that she believed he was still a zombie and he wouldn't have died and blah blah blah, and it found out as a human, so it's like, so you should have the virus, woman, you were just screwing a zombie. If you could screw a zombie, why wouldn't you screw your husband? That was the whole reason you were cheating, he said.
I guess, yeah. I think there's a missing thing somewhere.
I think there was something cut out that just wasn't put in the episode.
It seemed fine, but not good to me. I don't know if it's actually bad, but either way, not the best.
No, not the best episode. I don't think we're going to see any of the best episodes this season with the way the arcs have taken us.
Yeah. So the last thing. I don't even know if this happens at the end.
Let's hear it.
But Isabel, the person that was on the phone earlier, the person being escorted by the coyote and whatever.
Yes. This is the very last thing.
This is the ending? Good.
Yep.
So we're at the end. She shows up, and Liv does her song and dance, which is now has a very official tone because she's all like
British and regal.
Regal, yeah. Gentry.
So she scratches her, and there's no effect. And she's like, oh, hang on, let me just scratch a little deeper on the other hand. No effect.
Yeah.
She is the potential zombie cure. She has an immunity, but she's dying.
Yep.
So Robbie, get your fucking eye patch ready. You gotta fix.
We gotta go fight back in the world. Yeah. This is so this is interesting. Yeah, it'll either be a cure or an immunity or an inoculation or something interesting. This could be
a weapon.
Yeah, this could be lots of things. I don't know where we're gonna go with this.
If you had a disease or some sort of issue and became a zombie and then get cured again, do you think you have that disease still?
I don't know.
I wonder.
You shouldn't be able to be cured based on how zombies work.
But since you can,
yes.
Does it cure everything? Does it wipe the slate clean?
Not knowing how any of it works and knowing how it should work or should not work or whatever, I can't predict because when they cut them, right, they're just like they're not people anymore, right? They're they're cold and they don't
like black goo,
right? They're not it's not normal in there. Your organs can't function on just brains, and I don't know. I'm wondering. So that would be interesting, right? Maybe there's some plot where everyone gets turned back to be human, and that's great. Except thousands of people in this city are there because they were cured of having a problem because. Yeah. Right? Maybe that's a point of tension or something like that.
I don't think it would be thousands, but
whatever they want to say, it can be. I guess it's all this bullshit.
Be interesting.
Maybe you can cure people like Blaine's dad or Chase Graves as a weapon to turn people against their thing or something.
I would like to see a thing for season 5, which I know is there's going to be.
Is it already greenlit?
IMDb it says season 5.
No.
So I would like to see a thing where there is a cure. The government outside of Seattle has it, is forcing the cure upon people, but some people don't want to be cured, and it's they're like renegade fights of not wanting this and that, and Liv can't cure herself till she knows everyone else is cured because she's the savior of the zombie people,
and she has literally done that before.
Yeah.
That's that's her move.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys.
I thought you were right.
No, it's just my open thought.
I thought I chimed in, but you had a lot more to say.
No, I was 100% done.
Okay.
Let us know what you thought about it, guys, in the comments below. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.